So if you've been paying attention, you probably know the crypto market has been in a bear market for the recent weeks and months. And some of our favorites, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, they're down over 50 and 60%. And the question that people are asking is, are we done? Is this the end of crypto? Is there any future for crypto? When should we start buying? We're going to talk about that in this market update for May 25th, 2022. Let's go. Hello, everybody. It's Jeremy Whaley here from TradeMaestro.com. I hope you guys are all doing fantastic. And what I want to do in this video is do a little update on the bear market in the crypto market. So crypto has been selling off substantially. We've had some big sell-offs in some major assets recently. And I wanted to start updating on it because what we're seeing is we're starting to see some possible targets hit. Actually, many targets have been hit. And we're starting to see some possible ideas that it might be time for some new buying opportunities. So that's what we're going to talk about. And just so you know, I'm going to start updating more frequently on crypto, partly because we got a lot of people that are wanting to know more information about it, but also just because of where we are in this cycle. We're getting very close, I think, to the end. So that means we're going to have some big buying opportunities. So let's get over here and take a look at some of the charts. What you're looking at here is the Bitcoin chart. And we're going to spend most of our updates on Bitcoin and Ethereum because these are kind of the two big ones that, the majority of capital are sitting in. And what I'm doing here is I just kind of want to zoom out a little bit and show you the big picture. You're going to see quite a few lines on here. If you haven't seen my charts on this yet, then this might look a little bit weird to you. But you're going to see quite a few lines on here that really outline the major turning points for Bitcoin. And I want to highlight up here, I'm circling in yellow, and then I'm going to circle in yellow over here. This was a major resistance area where we had a lot of selling that came in. I'm just going to mark that RES. And then right down here at the bottom, we had a lot of buying in what we would call a support area. And I want to bring your eyes over here to the far right. Look where we are right now. Look at that. Ooh, it is the exact same spot. This is a major support area that we've come into. But it's not just a horizontal support. It's not just a price point on the chart that makes sense. But you also notice that we've drawn a trend line through here. And this trend line actually connects at the exact same spot. That's why if you zoom in a little bit on this chart, you're going to notice that I actually had a bearish trade set up with this very price range as our target. We had an entry in here, a bearish entry, I should say. So you'd have to short the currency. But we had an entry in here at about 43,664. And we had a target in here. We round it to 30,000, but you can see where all those lines come together there. And so that was a big shorting opportunity. And the question now is, what is the future of Bitcoin? And I want to talk about a chart pattern. I want to talk about something I've seen in the crypto space that not a lot of people have talked about, at least not a lot of people that I've listened to. And that pattern is something that we call a channel. So what I want to do is I want to scoot the chart over a little bit, and I'm just going to kind of teach you a little bit about market patterns. And if I make this full screen again, there is a chart pattern called a channel that looks very much like this right here. And what it is it's a price of an asset, in this case it'd be crypto, that is moving back and forth between support and resistance in a bit of a predictable repeating pattern. Okay? Now, why am I even mentioning this? Because what I have found is, typically speaking, on a stock chart, which is where I've spent the majority of my adult life trading, typically this trading range on a stock chart is going to be maybe on the low end 5% and on the high end maybe 15%. But kind of on average about 10% would be the average that you would see a trading range like this on a stock chart. Well, guess what? In the world of crypto, we see it totally different. In the world of crypto, what we're seeing these channels taking shape for about a 50% move. Now, that's a huge percent. And that's exactly what I'm seeing has happened on Bitcoin. So I've actually been forecasting this for quite some time. And you're going to notice that we had the first cycle of this. Let me change my pen back to a yellow color. It's a little brighter and easier to see. We had the first cycle of this that hit back in March, April of 2021. And then it took a little bit to sell off, and we sold off to about 30,000. And that happened in about July of 2021. And then we rallied, and where we rallied to? We rallied to roughly the same spot, which happened around November or December of 2021. And then where did we sell off to? We've now sold off to the 30,000 mark. So I can actually just draw a line right through all this, and you say, my goodness, look at that. We really are moving in a channel-like behavior. Now, whether or not this channel is going to play out this way, if it's going to continue, we don't know that yet. But what I can tell you is from a probability standpoint, this is actually the right location for us to start seeing some buying pressure on Bitcoin, and hopefully moving up into the future, we would be back into a bullish trend. And so, and actually I should qualify that, not just a bullish trend, but a bullish move. Okay, so a bullish trend would mean a longer term sustainable trend. At the very least, a bullish move here. And what I would be forecasting is most likely, if the trend continues, if the channel continues the way that it has continued, what we would be forecasting is that we would be actually targeting around 60 to 65,000 as the next target. You say, why would I say that? Well, because that's where the history suggests that the trade should be going to. Now, in a channel, in a pattern like this, whenever you have a trade, in this case a crypto, that has been moving back and forth in that pattern, what's really happening is the price action is being consolidated. It usually follows a big major trend. And if you come back over to Bitcoin, and we go back and do a little bit of a historical view on this, coming back to 2022, this is when we got, excuse me, not 2022, 2020. This is when we got into the major trend that really put so much value into Bitcoin. It was this trend right here, okay? The one that I just kind of circled on the chart, kind of ugly here. But that trend, folks, that's unsustainable. That is an unsustainable trend. And anytime you have an unsustainable trend like that, the natural counter move is going to be some sort of a consolidation move that allows the pricing to kind of consolidate. You have the buyers and the sellers working it out. And what you're going to see is you're going to see that upward and that downward movement. Now, it doesn't mean that anything's wrong with Bitcoin. It doesn't mean anything's wrong with crypto as a whole. It just means that these prices have had to consolidate. And it's going to take a while. In fact, a consolidation move can take many, many weeks or months and sometimes years. And that's really what we see happening right now with Bitcoin and a lot of the crypto. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So let's come back over here to the chart and let me just kind of show you some stuff that's going on here. And what I want to show you is this move is really, in my opinion, if I zoom out, this move, I'm not doing a very good job of getting this thing lined up. This move is a consolidation of this trend that started in 2020. Okay, so this trend in 2020 began roughly around the end of the beginning of the pandemic, and we got into a nice little trend through here, and then it just took off in what we would call an acceleration or accelerating trend line. And it had not come back to this line until now. We're finally there. So in my opinion, the most natural thing for Bitcoin to do is actually rally from here. And the most natural target for Bitcoin is to look to the left, find the most recent pivot area, which is between 60 and 65,000, and that should be the future. So why is that really relevant? Well, it's really relevant because that's 100% gain, folks. I mean, if we go from 30,000 to 60,000, that is 100% return. Now, people look at this and they freak out because it's a 50% sell-off, but that is the crazy thing. With each of these moves, what we've seen is we've seen a 50% sell-off followed by 100 or 100% better gain, followed by another 50% sell-off. And that's why I think that the next future move for Bitcoin is going to be 100% gain. And we're actually going to see Bitcoin up around the 60 to 65,000 range. So how will we know? Is it time to start buying Bitcoin yet? Well, maybe. Without going too far into my trading philosophy, I'm not usually a person who just starts buying because we're at a support level. What I like to do is I like to see the trade make the turn. And that comes from my options trading experience because I've been an options trader, stock options trader for so many years. I learned because of time decay that you really want to buy the trade as it's moving. You don't want to just buy it at a support level and hold it. because otherwise your time decay will kick in with your option. So for me, what I tend to do is I tend to wait until the turn has happened. I tend to wait until the move has turned and the trade starts to go higher. And then I let it trigger my entry into the trade, and then we'll be active in the trade. That is normally how I approach the move. Some people like to start building at a support level, and if that's you, that's fine. I would not necessarily put all of your money into Bitcoin right now, because it's entirely possible that Bitcoin could go a lot lower from where we are. So let me show you what the possibilities are. The possibilities on the downside would be that this support level does not hold, and instead the trade starts to fall down. And to know where we're going next, you got to look to the left. 17.5, ouch. Okay, 17,500. And then ultimately about 12,500, which would really stink for a lot of people. But yeah, those are the next two support levels for Bitcoin. I don't think we're going to get there. I've been targeting 30,000 for weeks now, many weeks. In fact, you can kind of see my structure through here. I had a little head fake in here back in March, and with my Profit Picks group on Sunday nights, we actually talked about the Elliott wave purposes of this, and I did the Elliott wave counts for this and showed that I still thought it needed to go to the lower levels. But as it started to rally just a little bit, I kind of got a little nervous, but then boom, here we go. We finally dropped down and we got to the target. So now that we're at this target, I am anticipating that we're going to see the higher moves, and I think we're very close to it. That's why I wanted to start doing these updates here for you. What I'm looking for is probably a move above about 32,500. Whenever I see Bitcoin bouncing and breaking above about 32,500, I'll start taking some positions in this. And then my first targets, I'm going to look to the left. And my first targets here are going to be, certainly 40,000. It's a big fat round number. It was a major pivot area. And then this one over here around 46, 47,000. That was pretty major. And then from there, we'll go on up and we'll take the big fat round numbers because, people like big fat round numbers like 40, 50,000. And, 53,000 was a pretty big number. We had some more pivot up here around the 60,000 mark. It's another big fat number. And then 65,000. So that's where we'll be going. I have not officially set this trade up yet, but I will set it up probably this weekend. I think we're getting really close to it, and it's definitely something that needs to be on your radar. So that's the setup and the overview for Bitcoin. Now, I do want to go ahead and touch on Ethereum briefly, and I won't spend as much time on this, but what I want to show you with Ethereum is I also have similar lines that are drawn on here. And I'm not going to go all the way back through the history, but let me just show you how Ethereum, rallied up to 4,200. And then where did it go? It dropped down to about 1,800. That's a little bit better than a 50% correction. Okay, now most people look at that and they see it as a sell-off. Well, when we rallied again, where'd we go? We went up to 4,800. So yeah, that was a big rally, but where did the sell-off go? Boom, we're right back here again. Okay, so once again, we had a 50% correction, a better than 100% gain. We had another 50% correction with a little bit of a hiccup in the middle. Okay, and where do I see this thing going moving forward? Again, I see Ethereum coming back to 4,000 and probably 4,800 right up in here. I really am expecting both of these, both Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm expecting both of these guys to rally and give us about 100% gain. So I think there's a really good outlook for both of these. And, once again, Ethereum is just now in the last week or so getting down to that major target of 1,800. People thought I was crazy sticking it out there. And I just kept saying, I was like, no, I think we're going to get there. I think we're going to get to 1,800. And then finally, boom, here we go. We're there. Now that we're at that major support level, the question is how long does it take to really build it up? So let's come back in here and let's look at a couple more examples. If you come back to 2021 when we were at that price point again, we actually had 3 bumps on this price point before it all got flushed out and before we finally built our support. Now, I don't think we're going to get that many. We had our first one back here about a week and a half ago, and that's a good one. I think we're going to get another one. And my anticipation is it will start to build from there. That's about when you should probably maybe consider taking on some initial positions. and then maybe adding to it as it gets going a little bit here. But it's possible. I mean, anything's possible. I would kind of be surprised if it spends several months building that support. I think it's probably going to spend a few weeks, 2 to 5 weeks maybe, building that support in there around 1800, and then it's going to break out. And when it breaks out, hang on. You got 100% gain opportunity, I do believe. Now, there's no guarantees to that. Watch all of your other pivot areas. There's quite a few in here. Just looking at the chart really fast, we've got some pivots around 3,200. That's kind of the major central pivot point, 3,000 to 3,200. And, we'll have some more in there. But we'll do more updates along the way, so, I won't leave you hanging here. Let me look at one more in here, the one that's got the most, probably the most buzz, the most misinformation about it is XRP. And I don't want any of you guys to hate on me for what I'm going to say. I do like XRP. I do own it, even through the bear market. Sold some, but... well, they made it harder to sell because they made it difficult to trade here in America. But here's where we are. So from the highs, the highs on this were, $1.90, $1.80, $1.90. We've been in a bear market for this for a long, long time. You guys know that. We got the SEC lawsuit and all that stuff going on. But I just want to zoom in right here on where we are. I actually don't see the bottom happening. This was one of my targets right around 40 cents. If you can see it, I did these lines in like a purple because they weren't really that solid. But 40 cents was my main target for that. And now I'm adjusting that down to about 25 cents. I actually think we're going to see XRP at 25 cents. So don't hate on me. I'm going to like it. If we get back down to 25 cents, I'll probably pick up a whole lot more. I think that's a really, if this thing keeps going, which I think it's going to keep going, that's the target. And, here's the cool thing. It's scary to some people, but, when this thing, a year and a half ago, when this thing was at $1.30, nobody thought we were going to have a chance to buy it at 25 cents. So here you are. You're at 25 cents, and hopefully the lawsuit's going to get wrapped up soon. Hopefully all this stuff's going to flush out soon, and you'll be able to get back in and have a great trading opportunity. So I think the upside potential for XRP could be great. Not as great as a lot of people on YouTube seem to think, but I do think the upside potential for XRP is really good. It's a project that I really love for all the right reasons. So there's my update on that. I hope this has been helpful for you. Listen, if you would like to learn some more, let me show you some stuff that you can do. Check out my 7-day crypto course. A lot of you are just getting into crypto. A lot of you maybe don't know all the ins and outs, and this is a perfect place for you to start. But moreover, I tell you what's kind of been a surprise. Well, not really. I'm amazed at how many people have been trading crypto for several years in many cases, and they take this 7-day challenge and they send me a letter or an email or something, and they say, there's no letters. Nobody sent me a letter. They send me emails. And then what they say is, Jeremy, I've been trading for however many years, 2, 3, 4 years, and I never understood the stuff that you teach in this course. And so even if you've been trading crypto for a little while, go to 7daycrypto.com. You can go straight to 7daycrypto.com and it'll redirect you over to this page. Or you can find it on my website. I'll put the link here below the video, wherever you are. And in this 7-day crypto course, what you're going to get is you're going to understand my philosophy for trading. You're going to understand kind of some background into crypto and understanding the right way to approach trading crypto. A lot of people really have this buy and hodl mentality, which is, hang on for dear life. And while that is a philosophy, I think a lot of you right now are realizing that was kind of a foolish move because you missed out on cashing out a whole lot of profit. Well, in this course, you're going to understand exactly how to start taking advantage of those moves. So if you haven't signed up for it yet, go over to 7daycrypto.com, 7daycrypto.com. Get yourself signed up. It's absolutely free, and I know you're going to love it. Also, if you have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and get yourself subscribed, whether you're watching this on YouTube or on Facebook or wherever it is you are. Subscribe, like, join, thumbs up, whatever you need to do. And make sure you get all of our notifications and all of our videos coming out. All right, thanks for joining me. Until next time, happy trading to all of you, and we'll talk to you soon.